Okay. Right. Okay. So today's training, communication is key. Okay. Now, when people join Clean Easy and they have their induction training, and we do that first presentation, and we say to them, there's 4 steps to building a Clean Easy business. And we say that you've got to retail effectively, communicate with your sponsor, be prepared to learn and follow the system, and share the business with other people. Because we spend more time talking about the retail than any other part of the 4-step system, I think people think that the other parts aren't as important as the retail. The problem is, just because we don't spend as much time on the other 3 subjects, it doesn't mean they aren't as important. So communication is vital for success in any business. So, definition of communication: the impartaking or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using some other medium. Okay, and it's this exchanging of information I want to look at today, because that means that communication is a two-way thing. And I think a lot of people in Clean Easy believe it's a one-way thing, especially new people coming in, because they wait until their sponsor rings them. They wait until somebody contacts them. They don't pick up the phone and speak to the person who's trying to help them. Now, imagine trying to learn how to drive a car, but you don't speak to your driving instructor. You're going to really struggle to pick up the skills and the information required in order to you become competent enough to pass your driving test. So there's always somebody who's delivering the information, and there's always somebody who's receiving the information. And that's the point about communication. So if you're not prepared to listen or see, when someone's trying to help you or give you information, then it doesn't matter how much they're wanting to share with you. If you're not willing to be receptive of that information, then you're not going to benefit in any way. So they could be shouting it through a megaphone, but if you've got your fingers in your ears and your hands over your eyes, it's not going to work. And I'm going to cover different types of communication in a minute, but that's one of the things with like social media and Facebook. People share a lot of information on there, but by the time you've placed a couple of posts, it's moved down, so you don't actually get to see the information. And it also works the other way. It doesn't matter if your sponsor's ringing you all the time and you don't receive the information, but if you're ringing your sponsor all the time and they're not prepared to listen, then it's not going to work either. Or I should say, sorry, if you're prepared to receive the information but nobody's giving that information, they're not delivering the content, then it doesn't matter how much you're willing to listen or how much you're willing to learn. If somebody isn't giving you the information you require, then you're not going to learn anything either. So communication is certainly a two-way thing. So new team members, understand how important it is to speak to your sponsor every single day. Now, you may feel that you've got nothing to talk about, but what I say to my new people is make an effort to speak to me at least 3 times a week. If you haven't heard from me, or I've left you a message or something like that, pick up the phone and ring me back. Or pick up the phone and ring me, even if you've got nothing to say, because I will find something to talk about. I will find something that will benefit you, or we'll look at what you've been doing so that you can learn something and move on from there. So, for example, let your sponsor know what you've been doing. Okay, what kind of experience have you had that day? What have you been up to? If you've not been doing any work, that's absolutely fine. Just let them know that. Okay, you're brand new to the business. You get out of this what you're willing to put into it. Okay, so if you've had a day where you were supposed to put your books out but you didn't, talk to your sponsor about it. They may be able to help you find a solution. There might be a reason you didn't put your books out. Let them know what you liked, what you didn't like. Okay, all right. It might be that you enjoyed delivering your catalogues, but you don't like picking them up. I know some people prefer picking them up than they do putting them out. I always enjoyed putting catalogues out because it was something that I could just get on with and do straight away. It was the collecting that I didn't always enjoy because it meant that sometimes people didn't leave the catalogues out and stuff. But yet other times, I know other people who love who love picking up the catalogues because that's when they see the results, the fruits of their labour. That's when they get to see orders and things like that. But I also know they didn't like putting the catalogues out because they felt it was monotonous and boring. So share those feelings with your sponsor so that they get a better idea of your likes and dislikes, which means that they know how to give you better support. They know how to help you with your personal challenges because everybody is different. Let them know how you feel, okay? Because it's often our feelings that produce our actions. And if you feel negatively towards something, you're not going to put in as much effort towards something that you feel, if you feel negative towards something, you're not going to put in as much effort as to something if you felt positive about it, if you felt good about it. So let your sponsor know how you're feeling because they may be able to help you change your feelings. And share your experiences, okay? Because again, your sponsor can help you with them, good or bad. There's nothing that you're going to experience in this business that your sponsor hasn't already experienced, especially if they've been in just a couple of months. On the retail side of the business, there's going to be pretty much nothing that you're going to come across that they haven't already come across and overcome. On the sponsoring side, as a sponsor, be prepared to listen to your new team members, okay? Each person is going to have a different experience. Each person will have a different attitude towards a given situation. So be prepared to listen to their needs. Encourage them to share their successes on Facebook and webinars, okay? As you get more involved in Clean Easy, you'll get to learn that we have competence levels. And one of the criteria for competence level 1 is to speak and do a testimonial on a webinar. Okay, when you get to that stage, share your successes because your success, your stories will inspire other new team members to carry on through any challenges that they may be facing. And share your stories on Facebook as well. Sponsors, be prepared to empathize and understand your new distributor. Again, we all have challenges. Some people are working full time. Some people are not working at all. Some people are working part time. Some people have children. Some people don't have children. Some are single. Some are in relationships. Some are married. Some are divorced. Every single person that joins your business will have different circumstances, different situations, and will see those circumstances and situations through different colored lenses, through different eyes. Some people will be positive about it, some people will be negative. So be prepared to empathize and understand and see it from your distributor's point of view, not from your own point of view. And be prepared to work out, are these reasons or excuses? Okay? If somebody has a reason that they haven't been able to do what they said they were going to do, listen to that reason. If you can help them find a solution, but then they come up with another reason and another reason and another reason why they aren't able to do the work, are those now reasons or are they excuses? Because we all have the same 24 hours a day. We all have the same 7 days a week. It's how we choose to spend our time. It's what we prioritize. So you've just got to help somebody make their own decisions. Help them decide what's worth doing, what's not worth doing, and be prepared to help and support your new distributor through any challenges they come across. And as you get to know your distributor more and more, then you've got to decide who deserves your time, okay? Because you are one person trying to help many. And like I say to all my team members, I will give them 100% help and support if they're committed to helping build their own business. Unfortunately, some people want you to build it for them. But anybody who asks me for my advice, I will give it, I will share it, I will help them 100% of the way. But at the end of the day, we can't build it for them. So we have a saying, which is walk with the walkers, run with the runners, and sprint with the sprinters. But the only way you can make these decisions is, again, through communication and speaking with your team members regularly. And like I say, it is a two-way thing. So team members, please remember to speak to your sponsor on a regular basis, because the ones who do always become far more successful than the ones that don't. And that is a given. That is 100% given. So again, the definition of communication, the impartaking or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using some other medium. So let's have a look at different forms of communication. First and foremost, we recommend using Skype as much as possible. Okay. Now, I do appreciate that Skype means that you are either tied to a laptop, a tablet, a computer, and you can't do anything else at the same time as speaking to somebody on a Skype call, which is good because it means that they've got your devoted attention. However, these calls do need scheduling, because at the end of the day, you've got to allow a certain amount of time to give to each individual, because you do have a business to run as well. Okay, so Skype is best where possible, and I'll come on to that and why in a moment. Telephone. The phone is the second best form of communication because it can be used anywhere. Nearly every single person, in fact, I don't think I know anybody these days that doesn't have a mobile phone. That isn't to say that they always answer it, but now that you're in this business, I seriously recommend that whenever you receive a phone call, you get into the habit of answering your phone, whether you recognize the number or not. You just never know whether it's a customer, a prospect, your sponsor. You need to speak to people on a regular basis. If it's an unwanted call, you can always block that caller, usually within your phone settings these days. So always get used to answering your phone, or at least getting back to any messages that you've been left. Okay. Text. To me, text messaging is not a great way of communicating with your team unless you're delivering some form of just basic information. It's not a good way of building a relationship or building rapport or giving help and support. Yes, I text my team. I text my team to inform them that there's a webinar, or inform them that we're coming to the end of a period, or inform them that I've left a voicemail on their phone. And again, I'll say why, because I'll phone people, leave a message, and then send a text to get them to listen to their message. Okay, and I'll explain why as we go on. Facebook is great. I think it's a fantastic tool. If you are serious about making an income, then you need to be on Facebook. Okay, every single business on the planet these days that's worth its salt is on Facebook. We are in a people business. You can only build business, you can only build your income by having customers, by having team members. And customers and team members, believe it or not, are people. And if you need more people, you need to go to where the people are. And most people these days are on Facebook. So if you're in business and you need customers or team members, you need to be where the masses are, and that's on Facebook. However, it's a great tool for sharing information with your team, your experiences, your stories, your testimonials. But the thing is, it only takes one person, two people, three people to put another post on that page, and your message gets pushed down until it isn't seen. So if you're wanting to communicate with a team member, you either need to tag them or ideally phone them. Okay? If it's just sharing a story or an experience, great. But if you need help, ring your sponsor, text your sponsor. If you still can't get hold of your sponsor or your upline, then put a message on Facebook, but tag your sponsor in it. Tag somebody who can help you in it so that they're more likely to see that post than if they just visit that page. Yes, other people on that page will give you help and support, but again, it's more important that you get the message out there within minutes, not that someone replies to your message a couple of days later after you needed the help. Okay. That also applies to email. Not everybody's sat waiting for emails to pop into their inbox all day long, especially if they're busy building a clean, easy business. Yes, lots of people get emails on the phone, but if you're like me, I turn my computer on in the morning and I've over 45 emails a day that I have to go through. So I've turned them off on my phone because my phone's just going bing, 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 bing all day long. So if you want to get hold of me, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm speaking for me personally. If you need to get hold of me, the best way is to give me a call on the phone. I always have my phone with me. I always answer it wherever possible. So if you need to get hold of your sponsor, ring them. If they don't answer when you ring them, leave a message, send them a text to say that you've left them a message and can they get back to you as soon as possible. Your sponsor will get back to you at their earliest convenience. Message me on Facebook and the chances are I'll never even see it. Okay? Because I'm not on Facebook all day long. I'm busy building a business and your sponsor will be too. Email is fantastic, but I check my emails on a morning, I deal with them, and then I don't respond to my emails again till the following morning. Otherwise, I'm just tied up answering people's requests all day long. Do you know what? My phone only rings a few times a day because there's only certain people who actually ring me. But those people always become more successful than the ones that just text me, or the ones that just Facebook me, or the ones that just email me, because I always have time to answer the phone. I don't always have time to sit there and write a message back. There's a clue. So why is Skype best? I don't know if you're aware or not, but when you're speaking with somebody, it's only 7% of the communication is the words that you actually use. 55% of communication is body language. It's what you're doing while you're actually speaking. Unfortunately, you can't see me on this webinar at the moment, but if I was saying to you that Clean Easy is the best thing since sliced bread, but I'm shaking my head from left to right, you're not going to listen to the words that I'm saying. You're going to listen to my body language, and my head actions aren't congruent with the words that I'm using. Okay, so 55% of communication is body language. If I'm speaking to somebody on Skype and I can see them watching TV, or I can see them looking at something in the room instead of listening to what I'm saying, I know that they aren't taking on board what we're talking about. And it's nothing to do with the words I'm saying, it's their body language. 38% of it is tonality. Okay, so 38% of communication is tonality. So, for example, if I said to you, putting out catalogues will get you orders, I can say that sentence in 3 different ways. So I can say, putting out catalogues will get you orders. The tone went up at the end. That becomes a question. Putting out catalogues will get you orders. That's all in a monotone, and that tells you it's words of wisdom. Okay, it's a fact. It's a statement. So putting out catalogues will get you orders. Putting out catalogues will get you orders. Or put out your catalogues, you'll get orders. Becomes an instruction. So if it goes up at the end, it's a question. If it's level, it's a statement. As it goes down, as your tone goes down, it becomes an instruction or an order or a directive. So it doesn't matter the words that you use, it's the tonality that they're put across in and the body language that goes with it that makes it more powerful. Okay, so that is why Skype is best, because you're using visual, you're using auditory, and you're being able to communicate face to face. It's like being sat in a house with somebody. So you can build this business across the globe with Skype. Okay. So what if you don't have Skype? You can't sit on the phone. Well, if Skype is best, then the phone is next. Okay. Okay, you can't see one another on the phone. Yes, you could use FaceTime if you have FaceTime. But if not, you can't really see one another on the phone. So then it becomes 14% of the words that you use compared to 86% of your tonality. And it's how you say it. So that's why we always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Another kind of example to help you understand that is if you have a pin and the pin represents the word, you can just prick someone with a pin and it may not hurt very much. But if you put that pin in the end of a cane, a garden cane, and jab somebody with that pin, the cane now represents the tonality. Okay, that pin, that word has just become extremely painful just because of the tonality that was put behind it. So that's why speaking to someone on the phone is far more successful than texting, emailing, or Facebooking somebody, unless you're putting a video on Facebook. So once you've tried to Skype, if you can't schedule a Skype call and you need to speak to somebody there and then, pick up the phone. If you've then tried to phone and that doesn't work, then you can text. Okay? But be aware that text is 100% the words that you use. And those words are interpreted by the reader depending on the mood they are in at the time of reading your message. How they feel about you, your words, and the situation that they're experiencing at that time. Okay? How many times have you read a text that was sent from someone you care about, but maybe you just had a heated discussion, you're a bit disappointed or upset with them, and you read their text and completely read it in a different meaning to what they meant, and it just fueled more fire. Be very, very careful with text and email because you do not have tonality and you do not have physiology. Text and emails can easily be misread and misunderstood. So if we communicate better, you'll achieve your goals quicker. You'll get solutions to problems quicker and more clearer. You'll be understood better. You'll get your message across better and form stronger relationships with your sponsor and team members. You'll also increase your success and increase your retention, because this business is a people business. It's based on relationships, it's based on trust, it's based on communication, and it's based on teamwork. So just texting and emailing and Facebooking people is not the way forward to either A, get the £300 to £500 a month you're looking for, or the £3 to £5 grand a month you're looking for, or beyond. Okay, if you don't become a good communicator, that's not going to happen. And if you're looking to communicate successfully with your team, it's not going to happen either. So it's like I say, it's a two-way thing. You've got to be good at finding stuff out, picking up the phone and speaking to your sponsor. Don't wait for them to ring you, get hold of them. And then vice versa, sponsors, make sure you communicate with your team. If you do have people who aren't contacting you, get in touch with them as often as you can. Obviously, if you can never get hold of them and they never return your calls and you've tried 3 or 4 times to get hold of them, you're going to stop ringing them. So that also is a warning to you new guys. If your sponsors are ringing you and leaving you messages and sending you texts and you're not getting back to them, they're going to quickly stop offering you that help and support that you want, because their time is just as valuable as your time and they're offering their help and support. However, they are one person trying to look after many. And that's why I say, if you're the person picking up the phone and speaking to them, you'll always be more successful than waiting for your sponsor to ring you. It'll also help you gain confidence in yourself and working with others by becoming a good communicator. And in the words of Jim Rohn, if you just communicate, you can get by. But if you communicate successfully, you can work miracles. Thank you very much.